Welcome back. So, I wanted to talk today about what to do when you jump into something that is not a fit. So, I have had only about two instances in my 10 years of business that I have been in a circumstance that I'm like, I don't think this was a really good fit. And the first time, I kind of just went into people pleasing mode and was like, no, no, it's okay. Like, yeah, I can make this work. It's fine, whatever. It did end up being a really good coaching relationship, but she was just a little too far above my level that it really just like didn't serve me as well as I would have liked it to over the course of our time together. The second situation was where I did not follow my typical protocol. I typically will watch coaches for quite some time. I'll ask a lot of questions. I'll see if I can find people who may have been in their coaching program, and I will reach out to them and ask them their thoughts on it and how they've felt about it all. And just really lean into like what my gut is telling me. Well, in this circumstance, I didn't. But what I did do differently in this circumstance that I did not do in the first one was I spoke up for myself. I think as women, this is really hard to do. We're used to taking care of everyone else, putting ourselves on the back burner, just saying, oh, no, no, it's okay. Like, I'll deal with it. And in this situation, I had decided that I was just going to speak up and I was going to tell her how I felt and what was going on within the mastermind. And it's really interesting as I started to speak up. I personally did not love the way that it was handled. I got passed off to the team. The coach didn't really want to deal with any of it or talk to me. She just kind of let her team handle it while she enjoyed her vacations. And to me, that was really triggering, but I was really proud of myself and my confidence grew that I was willing to just speak up and let the coach know that this was not feeling like a good fit. Here is why it's not feeling like a good fit, and be able to move forward from there. So that is the first thing that I would recommend is if you find yourself even in small situations like at a restaurant, if they get your order wrong and you're like, oh, it's okay, I'll just eat it. um, Ask yourself why you're doing that. And sometimes for me, it's like they'll put an onion on something and it's like I can just peel it off, right? So it's fine. But other times it's like, oh, I really don't like this. And I used to be the person that's like, well, I don't want to waste food. So I'll just deal with it and eat it. And then you don't enjoy your meal. And after you leave, you're like, well, that wasn't like the best experience. So, anyways, this can be on a big scale, it can be on a small scale, but really just thinking about why are you not speaking up? Why are you staying quiet? For me, I was afraid of judgment from others. I was afraid that they would think that I was a brat, like a bitch for use, like lack of a better word. And I really spent a lot of my time not wanting to be perceived that way. And by doing that, I was really putting my own needs and my own wants up on the back burner and not taking care of myself, which led to like lower confidence and just all of that. So, if you're not speaking up for yourself, really ask yourself why. And I also had a fear of like hurting this coach's feelings. I did not want to hurt her feelings. But what I had found was as I started trying to be a little more resourceful and ask myself, what can I get out of this program? I put together a Facebook group where I reached out to a bunch of the people in the mastermind and I was like, hey, like I'm starting a Facebook group where we can just like support each other, do Instagram lives together, and all of that. And slowly people started to reach out to me. They kind of asked me like how the mastermind was going. And I started to find more and more people who had had the same experience as me, where their questions were brushed off. They were told that they could outsource. They were told that they could hire a I was told I could hire a mindset coach for an additional fee when I told her what I was struggling with. And instead of the actual coach helping people, she was just brushing them off and kind of putting them aside, which in turn, like, made me feel like just another number on a list and just more money in her bank account. And it felt really gross. And I just knew that if I didn't speak up, this coach was never going to know how her clients were feeling. Whether she chooses to change anything or not, that is her choice. But I just knew that if I didn't speak up and let her know how all of this felt on the back end, while we get to hear about her vacations that she's taking all the time, like twice a month, once a month, depending on the month, how that made us feel as a client when she wasn't there to like help us along in our business or get to know us personally. So speak up for what you want, because when you don't, programs are going to continue to be ran in the way that they're being ran, because she's enjoying her life and she thinks that everything's all hunky-dory in her program. But if nobody ever says anything, then that's just going to like be more detrimental to her and her business in the long run, versus if somebody just speaks up and then she can really jump in and take a close look at that and change things if she feels the need or the want to do that. The second thing that you can do when you jump into a program that's not a good fit is ask yourself what you can take from the situation. So what I did was I had a clear intention going into the program, and although the program itself did not provide what I expressed that I needed and wanted, I was able to create that for myself. So I created this Facebook group where we could support each other, where we could make friends. I wanted to build my community. I wanted to build a network of people. And we all had a very similar ideal client. So I just wanted this network of people that we could pass referrals to each other and we could help each other. And if we went live on Instagram, we're getting visible in front of audiences that pertain to not only our business, but their business as well. And so I just found a way to create that. And that is what I did. Created a Facebook group. Now I have a group of amazing friends. We have become accountability buddies. We're helping each other along in business. So I want you to really think about looking at a situation that you might feel really stuck in. What can you take from that situation? And then the third thing is write a list of lessons that you learned and what you want to do moving forward. And for me in this situation, lessons learned was definitely listen to my intuition. And actually, it's funny because right before I clicked that button to sign up, my gut like screamed, don't do it. Like, this is not a good fit. And I didn't listen. I just thought, oh, like, it's just fear. It's fine. I didn't listen. And so that was a lesson learned for me, to listen to myself. Another lesson learned was really jumping in there, seeing how it was ran, seeing how people were feeling, and knowing how I wanted to run my business, knowing that I didn't want to run my business that way, knowing I wanted to do it differently, and knowing that I, as a coach, wanted to be in control of my program and not leave it to a few other coaches in there to be kind of in their control. And that was just something that did not feel good to me. And so if it didn't feel good to me, I don't think it would feel good to any of my ideal clients. And the next lesson learned was it brought up a lot of triggers for me, not only around my money mindset, but just around my need to be seen and heard. It triggered me a lot. It triggered me a lot watching her brush people off, telling them that they could outsource things, telling them that they could hire a different coach for things, telling them that they could hire somebody to do their copy if they didn't enjoy doing it, instead of like truly diving in and helping them. And so a beautiful lesson learned there was more work that I also need to do on myself, and diving into why these things triggered me and how to work through some of those triggers so that I can release a lot of the resentment I have now toward at first there was a lot of shame for me for jumping in, for not listening to myself, kind of like that kicking your own self in the butt type of thing, and not in a good way. Like, why did you do that? Oh my gosh, that was so dumb. I kind of went through it all. So really thinking about what good lessons can come from that and how we can just have more compassion for ourselves. And that is something that I had to learn in this, is just saying, oh, like, yeah, that sucks and I made a mistake. Now, how can I just like forgive myself, have compassion for the person who made that decision in that high pressure situation in that moment, and now I can move forward. So, those are the few tips that I have for you, is just really deciding what you can learn from each situation. I do feel like there's always a silver lining, even if it still sucks, even if like you want your money back, whatever it may be for you. Um, there's still a beautiful lesson to be learned and to take from that, and be able to move your own life forward once releasing that and knowing how you would do things differently. So, I hope those helped. And thank you so much for being here. And if you are looking for a coach, I would absolutely love to help you. I love to help moms and women in business get unstuck. If you are feeling like you're spinning your wheels and you're not getting anywhere, or you feel like you have fallen into like this people pleaser mentality, and you want more out of life, but you don't quite know exactly what that looks like, let's have a conversation. Hop on a clarity call with me. I will drop the link in the show notes so that you can book a free call. We're going to talk about your goals, your vision for your life, what your struggles are right now, how you can get past that, and truly, whether you were to choose to work with me or not, I want you to leave that call with more clarity and feeling inspired to go take action on your life, versus hopping off that call, making a decision to jump into something that might not be a good fit, or feeling frustrated. And so I take a very lean back approach. It's just very much your decision, but regardless, I love connecting with people. I love having these conversations. I love chatting about goals and dreams and where you want to be and what you want in your life and how you want it all to feel. I love chatting about that stuff. So if you just want to have a conversation around it and leave feeling inspired, that is great. Book a call. Link is in the show notes, and I will talk to you next time.